Hi, I'm Frost, and welcome to my guide to Homeworld 2 Remastered, where I'm going through every single level, showing you strategies, tactics, and how to get them completed. So right now we're still early days, we're at level 2, it's still one of the tutorial levels, but we're going to cover this in quite a lot of detail anyway, as you really want to get yourself set up right for when you actually get into the game proper, which is level 3, as the difficulty level ramps up substantially when you get there. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the game now, and I'm going to talk you through what I basically do and how to get yourself set up correctly. So let me go into that now. So obviously our first objective is we need to protect those carriers, those troop transports that are coming in.
Resource collectors to increase harvesting efficiency.
And we're being asked to create more resource collectors. So the first thing we do is we're going to select our interceptors. We're going to send them on our way. Okay, so they're heading over there now. We're going to hit build. And we're going to go to the little diamond over here, which is utility. And we're going to click and do one. We're just going to do a couple for now. That should do. Our resource collector that's existing, we're going to send it to harvest. So we're going to hit the key H. All right, and then we're going to select our interceptors again. And we're going to say F2 for show no mercy, so they go into attack mode. Right, we've then got to take care of this carrier over here. So we're going to grab our bombers, and we're going to send them in that general direction, as we're going to get some orders a little bit later. All right, so everything is underway now. I need to click on this little button up here so I can see my resource collectors building. As my resource collectors are made, I need to add them to my squad and then send them off to harvest. So let's zoom back in again, and we're going to start seeing the resource collectors popping out of here. We need to wait for the first resource collector to come back though, because as you see at the moment I don't have any resources. And this is going to be your problem throughout Homeworld. You're always going to be lacking in resources. It's going to be the most frustrating thing. And if you're used to Homeworld 1, you should also be aware that you don't have the luxury now at the end of the level to choose when you hyperspace jump. It will choose for you when it thinks the mission is completed. So therefore, it's really, really important that you mine resources at the right time. And that you transport Bishop 1 there we go. Is safe. Okay, so with Bishop 1 is safe. So let me. Oh, we got some cinematics coming in. The carrier is launching reinforcements.
Use bombers to destroy the carrier's fighter facility. This will prevent it from sending further reinforcements.
Right, so select 2, and then make sure we select fighter facility. There you go. It's going to attack the fighter facility directly. Don't worry about the other guys. These guys don't need protecting. All you need to concentrate on is your group 1 needs to be attacking these guys. So we're F2 to make sure we get them into aggressive mode and make sure that those guys are definitely protected. Now we're going to go back down to here because now we have an extra resource collector. You can see he's just there.
Group 10.
And we're going to make sure that he's involved in the harvesting as well. So as soon as these guys are built, you need to add them to the squad and get them harvesting. Ideally you want at least 3, preferably 4. It really depends on how your battle's going. Now obviously you've got these guys over here right now that are attacking the other transports.
The carrier can no longer build reinforcements.
Right, okay, so we've basically, the carrier's no longer produce fighters, but we're still going to attack it anyway. So there you go, so basically now they're going to just attack the carrier hull itself.
Corvette facility available for construction.
Okay, so what we have to do is we have to build the Corvette facility, so we're going to do that now. And that will be built as soon as we have resources come in from our resource collector. Alright, in the meantime, let's keep an eye over here. Right, so they're all dead, so what we're going to do is we're going to send those up to here. And press F2 once again to put them into aggressive mode.
Resource collector complete.
Right, so we've got our third resource collector built. That's good. So let's zoom back in. Let's do 0 and select him.
Group 10.
Control 0 to add him to the group. H to harvest. Right, okay, those guys are now going to do their thing. We cannot worry about them for a while. So the bombers are doing their job over here. They're attacking that carrier, so that's all good. And we're going to zoom out a little bit, and these guys are being attacked, so that's fine. So we've pretty much got almost the right-hand side cleared of
Hyperspace
enemy
signature
fighters.
detected.
I think we've got some help coming.
The Vega are using frigates to attack the transports. Some appear to be equipped with heavy anti-fighter weaponry. Threat eliminated. Transport Bishop 3 is safe. Threat eliminated. Transport Bishop 5 is safe.
I'm letting them just do their little chat at the moment, do their little cinematics. Okay, so yeah, so these frigates are going to cause us problems. Okay, so you can see that right now we've got some extra groups here. So what we're going to do is we've been given some extra interceptors. We're going to make use of those when the cinematic ends. Captain Soban to the rescue.
Pride of Higara.
That's a good
This is
camera
Captain
angle.
Soban of the fleet, Farron Shah. Looks like you could use a hand. Attention all Sobani, pick your targets
Sounds like a
and
good captain,
engage.
doesn't he? He's like in control, calm, collected. Not your typical EVE FC if you've ever played EVE Online. Right, okay, let's zoom out. Right, so we've got all kinds of stuff going on here, so I need to zoom out and get a better view. Right, so we've got some extra
We should be able to save
interceptors over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that group, I'm going to select that group, group them all together and send them into the fray. Oh, actually, we need to send them up to the front here because Bishop 4 is having some issues. So all my interceptors are going to take care of that guy. Captain Soban's forces are going to deal with his frigates, as right now we don't really have ships to deal with the frigates.
Used against fighter-class vessels.
Okay, now we're saying the corvettes are built.
Gunships to defeat the Vega bombers attacking our transports.
Okay, I disagree, right? Corvettes are rubbish. They're too slow. They can't keep up with interceptors, even though they're supposed to kill interceptors. I would much rather have plenty of
The
interceptors.
Vega carrier is retreating. It must be destroyed before it can escape.
Okay, so we're going to focus back on, just make sure we're definitely attacking the carrier. There we go, let's see if I can select it. Let's just do it on the map, it'll be easier. There we go, so they're engaging. Group 1 is definitely engaging these fighters here.
Show no
We'll
mercy.
put them into aggressive mode. Right, so as I was talking about gunships, gunships to me are useless. The ones we will need are going to be the pulsar gunships, which are going to arrive in a minute as an option. And we're going to need those to fight these frigates, because really interceptors will just get shredded against the frigates. So the pulsar gunships do quite a good job of that until we have frigates of our own. So I would not worry about building any gunships at this stage. I would focus more on having our interceptors, and as we've got a few resource units right now, I'm going to build another resource collector, so I have 4 of them. So that then I'm making best use of trying to mine all these resources. As this is one of the few levels where we've actually got quite a bit of time, and you really want to get as many resources in as you can, as we're going to go into a big shipbuilding exercise. Right, so the fighters seem...
Transport Bishop 4 is safe.
Right, okay, so Bishop 4 is safe. It
Pulsar
looks like this guy's
gunships
going to
now
die.
available for construction. These ships are effective when used against Corvette-class vessels.
Right, there we go. Now we have the pulsar gunships. Now we are going to build pulsar gunships
The Vega
because they are
frigates
going to be
have been
very
destroyed.
useful. Right, the frigates have been destroyed, so what we're going to do is we'll select Group 1. We're going to send them into dock so they can get their repair, and then they're also going to come out nice and neat next to the mothership so we can get our various squadrons organized properly. Okay, these guys have almost killed the carrier, and the frigates are coming to help. Okay, now one of the things you could see up here is, hang on, have I built my, oh yeah, there we go. Never mind. I didn't think he was being built. So there we go, let's select him.
Collection confirmed.
So what we're going to do is we're going to build, actually what we want to, let's see, we've only got 2 squadrons of bombers. Now I can see that bomber's health is not looking too good, but the carrier's about to die anyway. He's just seconds away from dying. There we
The
go.
beggar carrier
All right,
has
so
been
let's send
destroyed.
our bombers home so we can get these guys repaired. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another squad of bombers, because bombers are going to come in very useful on the next level.
Fleet,
I'm
this
being
is Captain
interrupted again.
Soban. The Homeworld system will soon be overrun by Vagar forces. Their objective is to capture the mothership. You must get the Pride of Higara out of here. The enemy will follow, and in doing so, you will buy the Homeworld some time. Soban, out.
Captain Soban's mission will be to track down the location of the Vagar leader. His fleet has been dispatched. He will remain in contact with us.
I love the story in Homeworld too. It really does pull you in. Okay, back to the job at hand. So let's zoom back in. So as you can see, my bombers are coming back, and my interceptors are all now lining up really nicely.
Group 10,
Okay, we
standing
can
by.
check on my harvesters. Yep, they all seem to be doing their thing. There should be 4 of them. Oh, there we go, there's the other one. Okay, and then we have a bomber squadron here, which is the bomber squadron that I built. So now I'm going to start building pulsar gunships. Now, one of the things you should be aware of is that you can end up where you're building stuff in your queue. So let me, for example, let me see if I can make it happen. Let's see
Production
what I mean.
underway.
You start building interceptors. Let's build
Production underway.
2 squads of interceptors. And suddenly the queue just stops building. And you're like, why? And you've got stuff in the queue and none of the other stuff is building because it won't let you build these interceptors. And the reason why this happens is because you have a limit on the number of different types of ships you can have. And if we click on the left-hand side here on the little sort of row of vertical dots, you can see, there we go. So there's a maximum of 70 fighters and bombers combined. So if you
Interceptor
build
squadron
70 fighters and bombers, then it will not let you build any more, but it won't actually tell you, it will just freeze your queue. So you need to be aware of that if any time something does not seem to be building and you have plenty of resources, you need to check to make sure you haven't exceeded your limit. And if that's the case, you need to remove it from the queue. Right, so let me see now. I'm building one more set of interceptors. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 interceptors. 1, 2, 3, 4 bombers. So ideally, I would like to build
Interceptor
another set of bombers.
complete.
Yeah, and I think I can
Production
just about
underway.
do it. There we go.
Group
Right,
1.
so we're going to make sure we've got everybody assigned correctly. Now, what we've got here, see, I've misclicked and assigned some bombers by mistake. So all you do is you just shift, once you've got the group selected, you just shift
Ready.
click on it, and that will deselect it from the group.
Acknowledged.
And then you can select these guys,
Group
do
1
control
designated.
1. There we go. And these are definitely all interceptors. And now we want all of
Group
these
2
guys to be in
copies.
group 2.
Copy.
Group 2
Control 2,
reinforced.
there we go. Okay, and now that I've got my maximum number of interceptors and bombers, I am now going to focus on these pulse gunships.
Bomber squadron complete.
There we go.
Production
we're gonna-
underway.
Just build
Production
as many of
underway.
these as we can. All right, in the meantime, what's going to happen is we're going to be getting these guys docking. Oh, bloody hell. That wasn't too good. He wasn't too healthy. I just got my fighters there in time. That was leaving it a little bit close. So essentially what's going to happen is as these ships dock, we're going to get extra abilities given to us. And I'm going to keep the tutorial running because there's a couple of things that are going to happen that you should be aware of because
Crew
they will affect
transport
what
docked.
happens to you in level 3.
Research staff and science teams transferring.
New research options available.
Right, so the research options. So if we go up to research, right, interceptor speed, you
Pulsar
definitely want to
gunship
have this. I
squadron complete.
highly recommend it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to train that research, and you can see the research is now taking place. Now the bomber speed, it's not critical, but to be honest, if you haven't lost any ships and you've got all your squads and everything, and you haven't messed it up at this stage, then I would say go ahead and do it. So pop that in the queue as well. If not, then make sure that you
Upgrade
make sure you build
complete.
enough ships to start with. Okay, so we've got our first set of pulsar gunships here, and funny enough, what we're going to do
Local
is we're going to make
resources
them
exhausted. Fleet moving on.
group 3.
Group 3
Right now, you see,
designated.
our resource collectors said resources exhausted.
Group 10
Now,
copy.
if we look at them, they're all just kind of just sitting there. You need to make sure that they're always looking for
Pulsar
resources.
gunship
Now, if you
squadron
zoom out on the
complete.
map,
Upgrade complete.
if you hover around, this is where they were mining earlier, and you can see it says 0 RUs. There's a few resources left, but there's not many. But eventually these are all going to get to 0. Now what you should be aware of is that on this level there is another set of resources, and they're actually up over here. Can you see as I move my mouse up, I've got this kind of question mark RU. What this means is that there's resources that can be mined, you just don't know what they are until you actually get your ships there.
Full capacity.
Right, so these guys are almost pretty much run out, and all that will happen is they're just all going to sit here and do nothing. So at that stage, I think we're pretty much there now.
Gunship squadron.
Yeah, it's literally just a few bits left.
Group 10
So what we're going to do is we're going to
standby.
select Group 0, Group 10,
Resources exhausted.
and we're just going to send them
Resources
there.
downrange.
All right, and that's going to get you probably about another 3 or 4 squadrons, which you're going to need in the next round. So I really wanted to bring that to your attention. Right, in the meantime, these guys are all going to dock, and they're going to supply us with a few bits and pieces. What's going to happen is you're going to put all your pulsar gunships into the same
Group 3.
squads. So squad 3.
Group 3 reinforced.
Right, then you go to as if you've saved all the ships, you're going to get some bonus ships. So you're going to get some elite bombers, and your elite bombers, you're going to add them to your bomber squad because essentially they are just bombers.
Pulsar gunship
And then
squadron
you are
complete.
going to get some standard gunships. Now, if you get time, because that's when it's going to jump you through to the next level, if you get time, assign them to Group 1. Okay, the reason why is you don't want to assign to Group 3. These guys are meant to attack frigates and corvettes. The gunships are meant to attack fighters. And so therefore, if you send these guys in with the pulsar gunships, the standard gunships with them, then they're just going to die and they're just going to get wrecked by the frigates. So what you want to do is assign them to the interceptors. They're going to lag behind because they're slower, but they will get there eventually, and their job is to kill fighters, which is what your interceptors are there for as well. All right, so make sure we get this last group
Group 3
selected.
reinforced.
And I'm going to wrap up there because otherwise we're just going to be waiting for these ships to dock, and sometimes they're not the best pilots. They start bumping into each other and we're here for ages. So I pretty much covered everything. I hope you found that useful, and that wraps up level 2. Next is level 3, when things get like proper interesting and there starts to be a lot of clicking going on. I hope you found that useful. If you think there's anything else to add, please let me know in the comments. I'm always glad for more input. If you're enjoying the series, then please do subscribe, and especially if you're into your sci-fi and your gaming, and especially strategy rolled into it as well, that is totally my thing. Then please follow my channel and make sure you hit the notification icon, the bell icon, as I do release pretty regularly, and I'm bringing out content as much as I can. All right, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'm going to see you next time. Bye.